We're going to be talking about 5 keys to great relationships. Last week, my wife and I had the opportunity to celebrate. I had the chance to take her away without our 4 children to celebrate our anniversary. And it wasn't just any other wedding anniversary. This year was different. We were going to be celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary because 20 years ago, we spent our honeymoon at Disney World. We decided to rekindle the magic and head to Disneyland. We had a great time. My wife prepared t-shirts in this true Disney theme. We had our wedding date printed on them, and if we stood in the right place, it actually looked like Mickey and Minnie Mouse were kissing each other. Yes, many of you are thinking one of 2 things, like, oh, that's so sweet, they wore Mickey Mouse shirts. If you're a guy, you might be wondering, I can't believe you actually wore Mickey Mouse shirts. But yes, I did. And it was really fun to celebrate in this way. It was great until our server at one of the restaurants we had lunch at looked at our wedding date and felt the need to blurt out, wow, I wasn't even born yet. I've had this wondering in the back of my mind if I was getting old, but this was confirmation that I was not looking for. But I also think this is something that's you truly want to celebrate and reflect on the idea of how we got here, because in my past I didn't really have an example of a 20-year marriage to help shape my view. In fact, I think there are a lot of things that I remember, mostly things not to do when it comes to marriage instead of things to do. So how in the world did we get here? I was talking about this with my wife and we came up with about 15 different things and reasons why we feel like we got here. But what we're going to talk about is 3 specific things that seem to make our relationship strong. And as we discuss them, it's not a time at all for us to brag about how great things are or brag about the wonderful things that have happened to us. Especially most of our success is because I married the most amazing person in the world. It's not me, it's her. But these things that we learned really did help. They really did make a message or a difference. And so I realized that some of these lessons that I learned, they also can be applied to your health. So let's go ahead and dive in. Number 1, communication. Communication is such a vital part of our relationship. And it's unfortunately the area that I kind of struggle with the most. But we realize that if we can actually talk to each other, tell the truth every day, let each other into our lives, then every day our relationship becomes stronger and we grow closer and closer together. When I notice that I'm failing to communicate, I will throughout the day come up with 3 things that I want to share with my wife. And they can be anything: wins, frustrations, challenges, anything. Just be prepared to communicate. When it comes to your health, be willing to talk about it. Share the truth about where you are, what your goals are, and how you're going to get there. Having open dialogue with others holds you more accountable. Telling yourself the truth about your health and where you're at will help you to set proper goals and proper direction. Number 2, time. One of the things that my wife and I are really good at is setting aside time for each other. We have this thing that we call Thursday night whining. And what happens at Thursday night whining is our kids go to bed early, we might have a glass of wine, or maybe we just decide to whine about our week or both. Either way, it's just time that we've devoted to each other, and the entire family, especially the kids, understand. Prioritizing our Thursday nights, regular dates, just the 2 of us, or even big getaways like what we were just talking about before, they have contributed to the strong bond that really can't be broken. Guys, when it comes to your health, how much time do you give your health? Is it something that you think about every once in a while, or do you daily take steps to improve your health? Working out, how often do you work out? Or simply go outside for a walk? Even here in the desert, in the summer heat, there are times in the morning and in the evening that can be devoted to exercise without the need of a whole lot of extra equipment, supplies, and expense. Commit to spending the time to make a difference in your health. Now, number 3. So we've talked about time, we've talked about communication. Number 3 is commitment. Being committed to each other, completely committed to each other. Now that our children, we have 4, and they're all preteens and teenagers, and a new strategy in their arsenal of how to get over some things with their parents is to try to put us up against each other. Maybe, well, mommy said this or daddy said this. Like they pull that a lot. And you would think that by now they would realize that this wouldn't work, and we let them know why. It's because Jennifer and I, my wife Jennifer, we are such an unstoppable force. We don't let anything get in the way of us. Our marriage, our bond together. We'll never always agree. In fact, we disagree on a lot of things, even though my wife is almost always right. But even on those moments that we disagree, we know that in the end, we are not going to be defined by our disagreements, but on our commitment to being together and to being unified every single day. When you're looking at your daily life and when you're looking at your health, what are the things, some of the things that can get in the way of your health? Does someone bring donuts to work every day? Do your friends want you to spend more time with them at the bar than at the gym? Do you feel like you just don't have time to commit to the work that it takes to achieve your health goals? Just remember that through all these tests and all these challenges, what is your true commitment? Are you committed to the easy route where you give up whenever there's something that gets in the way? Or do you take that next step? Is your commitment to your health an unstoppable force where nothing can stand in the way between you and being healthy? And only you can answer that question. If you don't like your answer, only you can change it. So these are the 3 habits of healthy relationship: communication, time, commitment. They have been an important part of my relationship with my most wonderful wife, and they can make a difference in your health. Now, before I end this video, I do need to point out that I've been blessed with the most amazing person that I can ever imagine being married with. My wife, Jennifer, is super smart, incredibly funny. She fights for what she believes in, and she really does make a difference in our world. Without her, none of this is possible. And she's the reason why 20 years feels like just a little drop in the big bucket of life. And I'm looking forward to those next 50 years, not 20, the next 50 years. Guys, if you want more information and to check out our freebie, don't worry about if you kept notes or not. We have a freebie, and it's fantastic that we're giving away. And the way that you get it, here's the key. The way that you get it is you've got to check out our podcast on Friday. The podcast comes out on Friday. We go over some of this information and a little bit more. The 3 keys to strengthening your relationship. Actually, you can go ahead and visit iTunes now, subscribe to our podcast, so the moment that thing goes live, you will get a notification that our podcast, 3 keys to strengthening your relationship. You'll get that, and on the show notes page, and as you're listening to the podcast, it'll direct you to what to do. You will get our 3 keys to strengthening relationships journal page. And what you can do is you can keep track of whether or not you're following these steps in your relationships and in your health. Listen to our podcast where we go over this information in much more detail. Grab that freebie. I'll look forward to I'll look forward to communicating with you in the future. Guys, I'm Dr. Emil Tompkins. I hope you have a fantastic day, and we'll see you soon.